Hello guys and welcome back to my channel. I hope you are having a wonderful day. In today's video, I'm going to be doing a non-traditional Valentine's Day look. What I mean by non-traditional is I'm not going to use the colors that you normally think of when you think of Valentine's Day. So to start this look off, I'm going to prep my lip with this hydrating lip balm from Luna Magic. It's in the flavor mango. It's just an old school squeeze tube. I love this lip balm. I also have a cherry one, but I don't like the scent of the cherry one. It smells like medicine. But this orange one, it is mango scented and it smells like you're on the beach somewhere. It is very tropical. So I'm just going to use that for some lip prep because it is still winter and freezing rain where I live, so my skin dries out in the winter. So for our eye look, you know I like to do my eyes first. I'm going to use the Dominique Cosmetic The Moment palette. This palette is beautiful. It uses blues, golds, browns, and whites in it. So this is the palette I am going to use. Let's bring you guys in just a tiny bit more so you guys can get a good look at the palette. So I'm going to prime my eyes. I do have an eye primer today. Usually I use concealer if I don't have an eye primer on hand, but today I do. I have the Crop Beauty Base Eye Primer. Oh, I just realized, y'all, I never even opened this one. It was in my collection. And y'all, it is raining, like raining outside. Like I can hear the rain on the window. Oh, this primer comes with a doe foot applicator. Nice. I'm gonna use this Translucent Beauty Mirror. Why does this look so clumpy? To prime my eyelid. Okay, this applicator does not feel good on my eyes. And I think this primer has dried out a little bit. Let's see if I can get some on the thing that's not clumpy. If not, we'll just go in with concealer, which is perfectly fine. I think I got it on my lid as best I could. I'm gonna have to go back in with concealer a little bit and see if I can spread this out with my beauty sponge and see if this will work with the help of a beauty sponge. It looks okay. I forgot about this primer, so maybe that's why it's not good, because I forgot about it, so maybe it's a little dried out. We'll use concealer instead. I have this Item Beauty concealer here to prime the rest of my lid. I always try to use the eye primer that is like a lighter shade or a lighter concealer than my actual skin tone. So when I'm looking down, I like to look down into the mirror to spread the concealer over my eye. You don't have to use primer. You can just use your eyeshadow on your lid. But I feel like my eyeshadow look better when I have primer on or concealer because it gives the shadow something to stick to. So I think I'm going to stay in the gold and brown realm for this look. So I'm gonna use this tiny brush that's flat to pack on the shadow, and I'm gonna go into the shade Essence, which is this brown shade. There is a little bit of kick up in the pan if you can see, but it's not too bad. This palette does come with a mirror, but I'm using the Translucent mirror because it is removable. So I'm just going to tap the brown all up in the crease. Like I'm using the front of the brush to tap it across my crease. I'm not blending it yet. I'm just tapping it in place because I want to get the most coverage. And I feel like stamping it or tapping it in place will do that for me. Now that I'm done tapping it in place, I'm going to take this big fluffy brush that doesn't have any product on it and go back and forth in the crease of my eyelid, trying to keep it in the crease. It's okay if you get some on your lid, it's fine. I'm going to cover it up. These shadows blend so nicely. I put it far up in my crease. You can put it lower down on your crease if you like. Now that we have essence on the lid, well, not on the lid, in the crease. Let me see if I can zoom you guys in a little bit more. I zoomed you out. Let's take the same brush we used before, but on the other side I'm going to flip it over. And I'm going to take the shade Enchanted. It's a darker brown. And I'm going to put that on the outer, tapping off some excess shade. And I'm going to put this on the outer portion of the lid. I'm not going to bring it over. I'm just going to put it in the outer corner. And I'm just going to tap it in that spot on my outer corner. So let me know what you're doing for Valentine's Day. I don't have any plans this year. I'm thinking about taking myself to the movies. There are 2 movies that are out right now that I have not seen, and I want to see them. The 2 movies I want to see right now is Megan. Megan is about a robot that was created to protect the little girl, and she takes her job very seriously. And then there's another movie out called Missing. It stars Nia Long and Storm Reid, where Nia Long, she goes out of town, but she doesn't come back, and her daughter's looking for her, and she finds out all this secret information about her mother, and she's trying to find her. So those are the 2 movies I want to see. I don't really go outside that much, but I want to actually go to the movies because I haven't been to the movies in a very long time and see that. So let me know if you have Valentine's Day plans. I know one year I want to do like a Valentine's Day brunch. I want to plan something like that maybe next year or something. Or like a Valentine's sleepover or pajama party with my friends. But I think this year I'm just gonna go to the movies if I decide to go. Because I'll make plans and then I'll decide, like, I change my mind. I try not to change my mind at the last minute if I'm going to go out with other people, but I tend to make plans even with myself and then decide, no, I won't go outside. So now that we have the brown in the outer corner, I'm just going to take this other little tiny brush to make sure I can blend it in with the essence shade that we put in the crease. Like so. I'm just tapping it so they blend. And you can see there's a little bit of fallout here, but you can always clean it up later. And then I'm struggling to decide, and concealer, to decide what colors to use for the shimmer. I want to add the white in the inner corner, which is here. And then I kind of want to do the shimmer here that's called After Hours. It's more like a green looking gold. But then there's one called Dinero up here. So I'm debating between those 2. And if you want to see swatches on this palette, I've done it in a short already. So if you're curious what this palette looks like swatch, I've done it in a short. So we're going to take the white shade and put it on the inner corner side. I'm going to take this other flat brush and tap it into the white gently and see. Starting at the inner corner, going from inner corner to fill in the half so the inner corner white and the brown shade meet on the lid. So if you do have plans for Valentine's Day, whether they're with a significant other or yourself, let me know if you're going to do your makeup or do you have like any special outfits planned. Let me know. So now it's blended across. I'm going to take my finger. Actually, I'm going to try this with a brush first. I'm going to take I'm gonna take this rounded pointed brush and we're gonna go into After Hours. This brush has not been sprayed. I usually spray my brushes to get that, but I want to try it. And I'm going to place the shimmer in the center. I'm using the wrong brush. I'm gonna use the same brush I used the white for, which is this pointy-ish brush. I'm gonna just take that. I'm gonna use the opposite side that doesn't have the white on it. And we're going to put this over top. It's working with the brush, but I wanna see what it looks like if I just tap my finger. It works with a brush just fine. I can get a little bit more pigmented with my finger. And I'm just putting it in that little gap right here. As you can feel it. I can feel it falling on my face. Hold on. Now we're going to go back to this brush. Before I spray it, I'm going to dip back in. I have my palette down on the table. Sometimes it's hard to hold the palette and dip the brush in. I have a lot on a brush. And I'm going to take this Rose Water setting spray. It's from Maven Beauty. I'm going to spray it. I want to spray it like away from, I'm going to spray it off camera so water setting spray doesn't get on my palette. Then I sprayed it, and yes, the top fell on the floor. And then, now that this is all wet, I'm just going to tilt back a little bit to get the part of my eyelid that, you know how you have that fold in your eyelid to where sometimes you don't get shadow all into place, and I'm just sticking it there. Now this is what the eye look looks like, and that's all I'm going to do. I love this color combination, but I'm going to do the other eye off camera and I'll be right back. Okay guys, I'm back. I am going to do a light base makeup. I don't want this to be too heavy, so I don't know if I'm going to use foundation or just go in with concealer. But we're going to start off with primer while I decide that. This is the Ciate London Dewy Skin Primer with vitamin C. So I'm going to take like 1 pump of that. This particular primer is a white color. So I'm just going to take the little 1 pump and spread it across my face and my forehead and then blend it in. I did use a moisturizer underneath to do that. So I'm just going to do light. Normally, I might not put on makeup if I was going out. I would most likely do eyeshadow. If my eyes are done, I feel complete. I don't usually need a whole base full of makeup. So we are going to use a tiny bit of foundation. And how we're going to do this, I'm going to take this big old kabuki brush and I'm just going to put 1 pump of foundation. As you can see, I have 1 pump on the brush, and that's all I'm going to use for my entire face. If I can figure out what I did with my mirror, it's on my right. And why do you ask, am I only using 1 pump? Is because I want a light coverage and I don't want it to feel like I have on makeup or to necessarily look like I have on makeup. So I thought 1 pump would do it, but it did not. So we're gonna have to use another pump because that 1 pump took care of my one side of my face and one side of my chin. But these are tiny pumps. Whatever I pump out, like if you guys can see when I'm pumping this foundation, is like a tiny drop. And if you're wondering what I'm using the AIRBRUSH Flawless Filter foundation. This is in the shade 5.5 Warm. So I'm just taking this other pump to cover my chin and my cheeks. I'm not really focusing on my forehead with this foundation, and that's only because I want to leave my forehead alone, and whatever's left is going to go on my forehead and it's going to look as natural as possible. It's only 2 pumps of foundation, tiny pumps at that. But lately, my chin has a little bit of redness and so do my cheeks. So some days I like to cover that, some days I don't. And if I was wearing this makeup out today, that's what I would choose to cover. And sometimes spot concealing does not work. It doesn't have as much coverage as foundation, so I just use those little pumps. And I'm gonna take this liquid blush also. Let me show you the container. It's the blush drops from Radial. It's in the shade Sun Kiss. I'm going to take a few drops of that blush on this tip of this beauty blender, like one drop, and I'm going to put this like on the further point of my cheek and tap it in like on the back part of my cheek. I like this blush, but it's very like baby doll pink and it doesn't really show up on my skin all that well, but it gives me the tiniest blush of color that I'm looking for. So that was one pump for this side of my cheek. And then I'm going to take another drop on other part or other side of my cheek. You don't have to use a liquid blush if you don't want to. I'm just placing it where I want and lightly bringing it on my cheek. I think I put a little more on one side than I did the other, so I have to go on the other side to make them match. So I put more on this side, my left side, than I did on my right. So let me go back in and just take whatever on the dropper and put it on the right side. And yes, do y'all ever like knock over things when y'all are doing something? I tend to do that. That's a little better. They sort of kind of match right now. I also have a liquid bronzer here. I don't know how to say this company's name, but I will have it linked in the description and I'll have it come up on the screen. This is just a liquid bronzer and I'm going to put it on this little dual-sided brush from AIRBRUSH here. This is one of those twist pumps or something. And I pulled off the top. Fun! Did I fix it? Nope. Y'all, the bronzer is gonna give me trouble. I think I twisted it right now. Nope. I know there's bronzer in here. Like, I don't know what's wrong with it. Maybe because I messed up the top, but we'll see. Okay, I'm getting some bronzer. Oh, I got some bronzer on here, like 4 tiny little drops. I'm gonna like swipe some bronzer next to the blush I have on my face on both sides, and I'm gonna pull my little thing up and get some on my forehead. Okay, this bronzer doesn't come out that well. Maybe I should have shook the product first. And let's see if I can take this and have it on my forehead and bring it over. And it went well on my forehead, so I'm just gonna bring bronzer down as well. I'm not gonna put any bronzer on my nose. I want everything to look melted into my skin a little bit. So we're done with bronzer and blush. Our last thing is our lip. So I'm gonna go back to this Mango Lunar Magic Hydrating Lip Balm. That was the first thing I put on in this video. I'm gonna put that on first as a layer. Even though my lips feel hydrated, they still sometimes tend to be on the dry side, even if I apply lip balm within the same time as I'm going to do my makeup. I also have this lip balm in a cherry flavor. Don't like it in the cherry flavor because I don't like the scent or the smell, but the mango is for sure. Now I'm going to take this liquid lip from Ofra Cosmetics in the shade Monaco and put that on my lips. I didn't use a lip liner because most of the time I don't use a lip liner. I just apply. And Ofra Cosmetics liquid lips, to me, they smell like cupcakes. I'm gonna go back in and get a little bit more. I'm running out of this shade, I've noticed. I'll have to get some more Ofra's liquid lip. They're so comfortable in the lip and they dry down enough after you apply. So that's what the lip looks like. I probably should have zoomed you guys in a little bit more. I feel like I haven't been filming as much, so it's kind of hard to remember where the camera belongs sometimes. So that's the lip. I'm gonna wait a second for that to dry down. So if you guys have any book recommendations or Valentine's Day planned recommendations, I usually try to read a romance around this time. Right now I'm still reading All Dangerous Things, which is not a romance, and I'm also reading The Boyfriend Project. The Boyfriend Project is a romance. I'm going to take this Item Beauty lip oil instead of putting a gloss over top, because I have this plumping gloss from Serafina, but it's a plumping gloss, and sometimes plumping glosses sting my lips, sting them, and I don't like that. So what I'm thinking about, so we can try both, we're gonna take this plumping gloss and I'm going to put a light layer of that first. It's a pretty orangey color. It says wet skin on it, but I'm not sure if that's like the name of it or it's just the product. Oops, it smells good. Please don't let the plumping hurt my lips. Okay, I didn't put that much because I'm scared, but we're gonna keep going. It smells wonderful. I don't feel anything, so that's a good sign for me. And I don't feel any stinging or plumping. You guys can tell me if my lips look plump even more, but I don't feel anything. The gloss is comfortable, it smells great, and it's beautiful. But I don't feel anything, and that's great for me because plumping glosses can be overpowering for me. So, yeah. So let me know down in the comments your plans for Valentine's Day. Let me know what you guys think of this makeup look. Is this something you think you can do? Is there another type of makeup tutorial you want to see? And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Remember, I'm always thinking of you, sending my love, and bye for now.